There you are, Vito. No problem. Adele Doyle.
Here.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone.
Great. So go ahead, Alice.
Okay, so I guess the first item on the agenda is we need to make a motion to move to an executive session to discuss our candidate vote. So if someone would like to make
Second.
Okay.
Oh, are you
I'll move to executive session. Dina seconds. So thank you, everyone. We'll be going to a breakout room.
Alice, are we bringing Alora with us?
I believe so.
I
Alora,
think we have to make a motion to bring her with us.
I don't think. Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry, but sorry to interrupt, but the interpretation lines are not ready yet.
Well, that is fine because the executive session is a private session. It's
Oh, okay.
sensitive candidate discussion.
Okay.
So we
Is
have.
there anyone available to give me support through a chat?
Yeah. Natalia, will you stay back and admit, any of the council members that come into the breakout room, but also ensure that the translation lines are set up while we're in the executive session?
Because
Okay.
Natalia, for example, we are waiting to be admitted in the Spanish room. If you can keep
Okay.
an eye on that. Thank you.
So Natalia, I actually won't be able to go since I'm supporting Natalia in the setting up of the interpretations room. So I just have to open those and let the interpreter.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll just put the council members.
Thanks, Natalia.
Hi, Michael Loeb. What do we do while y'all are in the executive meeting?
Dance party, of course. No, I'm just kidding.
You see my
You can-
records. That's
Yes.
what I was saying.
you can step away. I mean, it'll be silent in the main room. But we obviously try to come back because there's other items on the agenda. So it wouldn't be the full hour before the calendar meeting, which starts at 7, in which case we'll definitely be back by then.
Or you
Okay,
can
calendar
chat
meeting.
You could chat amongst yourselves and get to know each other. Talk about your educational experiences in District 20. We won't listen, we promise. We'll be in another room.
Yeah, these breakout rooms are always fighting with me. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So let me see. Because I got the email, but it's still showing, like, not giving me the line. Alice, didn't you end up in the other one?
Say one more time.
You're supposed to be in the breakout room.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't left yet.
Oh.
Okay, it looks like the interpreters went to the breakout rooms, though they shouldn't have. They didn't need to go to the breakout rooms.
I am having a lot of trouble with the breakout rooms tonight. I don't know why.
I hope they come back.
So Pia, Arabic, Mandarin,
Please
and
check the
Spanish
number
lines are
and dial
open.
again, or dial.
Still
Can
not.
you say again?
The Arabic, Spanish, and Mandarin rooms are open. There's no one in Arabic yet, but the interpreters are both in Spanish and Mandarin.
Let me. Let me join the Spanish line through the regular phone because I don't think the link you sent me, the calendar code, is the correct one.
Okay, great. So let's move on to the next item on our agenda, which is we have a couple of things. We're going to approve, our business meeting minutes, and then we'll go to the new business, which is the budget for purchasing care packages. So has everyone had a chance to review the minute? Yeah, are we? Alice, you're on mute.
I move to approve the October business meeting minutes.
I second.
All in
We do-
favor? All right,
Aye.
Aye.
raise your hand. Okay, the motion passes unanimously, except for Simeon, who's not putting his hand up. There we go. Okay. Okay, so minutes approved from October. Business meeting minutes, thank you. What's the next item?
We only have 10 minutes, so let's move to number 5, our new business, to discuss purchasing of the care packages. And that way that leaves us enough time before we move to the calendar meeting.
Dina, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. This was, Inga, was this something that came out of the borough president's meeting?
Yes, there was something
Yeah.
forwarded where there's an organization that's working with the DOE and they're putting together care packages for the winter. For my understanding was it was for children that are in temporary housing. And so it's something that it seems that the CEC can use their budget for to help with.
Mm-hmm.
I think, one of the questions asked was, would it be targeted to D20 students that are in temporary housing? I don't know, Natalia, if you ever got the answer to that question exactly.
I did not. So, like I said, I reached out and I had emailed Jesse Majolica. I think I pronounced that wrong. But I haven't heard back. So, I can just check back with him tomorrow, just to see if we do it, would it definitely go towards District 20 students, or would it be when we donated the money, if it would just go into a pool and be distributed throughout the city?
Right, and I mean,
Go ahead, Inga.
I was gonna say we could still move the line or create the line item in the budget, right, for the amount that we would be willing to donate. And if, you know, people feel that we will donate only if it's for D20 students, we can obviously just have that as a caveat. And once we get a response, you know, we can use the funds. If people don't feel strongly about that, then we don't need to have the caveat. I think we can do it that way, but I don't know what other people think.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that we take the opportunity to move the money anyway, so that we're ready to donate.
Yep.
Natalia, do you know, does it say in this pamphlet how much a care package is, so we know, like, if we donate X
Each
amount of dollars? Yeah,
Yeah, each one is
it's
$100.
$100. Okay.
Actually, I think the other question, Natalia, I don't know if you're able to hear back from Jen or someone, what, like, how many D20 students do we have that are in temporary housing?
Yes, I did not get an answer for that one either.
Okay. Yeah, that was an important question because that
Ooh.
help us to substantiate the amount that we move over.
I hate to be a skeptic here, but is this company like, I mean, how much profit are they making on these care packages that they're,
Seems kind of expensive.
I mean, I don't know, what exactly is it? It's a hood. I mean, are these things that, I mean, I know there's no, let's see.
It's quality toiletries in a waterproof bag.
No, I don't have really an issue with it. I'm just,
Is it a
Is
non?
it? Yeah, I was going to say, is it a nonprofit or is it a
right.
for-profit?
What is STH Care Packs, I guess, is my question. I'm gonna look it up. I mean,
And which one are we
think
looking
of it
for?
as
The
a
combo,
DOE.
A, B, or C?
Yeah, those are the choices.
I mean, we don't choose are we choosing which ones to buy, or that's something that's
It is.
happening, the student chooses or the family?
I think we can choose.
Oh,
I mean, if we're purchasing it, we should have the right to choose, you know, what we're
Right.
buying.
So
Can you scroll up a little bit? I just want to see the pictures. Or down, whatever, I forgot, I was confused that. No, the other way, sorry, Boo. All right, well, let me see the picture, go back up a little bit.
Picture students.
Oh, the picture, there you go.
and I mean, maybe you don't know the answer to this. Is this something that they give out for Title I kids like pre-COVID, or is this something that was developed for?
I think
children?
this was developed for.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I haven't
It
seen
says
anything like
Title
this
I on it,
before.
and I'm just curious. I don't know.
Can
Like-
I interject here? I'm sorry to interrupt you because you asked the question, but
Yes.
in our schools, we do have packages like this pre-COVID for Title I students.
Okay. That's, yeah.
I just want to clarify that for you.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you. Principal Russo, sorry.
Let me see A, cut to A.
Hi, everyone. This is Laura from FACE. So I think Jesse Mojica may be out, which is why you haven't heard back from him. But this kind of sounds like a philanthropic effort, which isn't something that CECs are in the purview of doing. And it's more for President's Council. And I think that's why someone mentioned with like Title I and SLT, because that's something they're able to do with their funds. So just to flag that for you, that's probably going to be a part of Jesse's response.
Okay.
So we can't do this.
How did we come up? We were asking how to, I'm sorry, but weren't we asking how to help with our budget that will be unused if we don't spend it? And this is what was provided to us, no? Because
I'm looking at the emails. This was sent directly to the CEC actually. So I don't know if this was a great email.
Was it sent from a DOE email or from a vendor? Because that's, separate. The CEC emails are
right.
public, so you can be solicited for a number of things. You just need to have your AA reach out to your SGO to really go in depth, because that's what it sounds like. A vendor probably reached out to see.
Right. But Inga got it as a borough appointee, I think, right, Inga?
Well, similar to that,
Okay.
They have access to different emails. So yeah, I would double check with the SGO, just flagging that for you all.
Well, you're new to us, but we definitely gave money to shelters last
Yes, to the STA for the students in temporary housing to NYCHA. Yes, all districts were able to do that.
Okay.
This just is working a little bit differently. So that's why I'm just want to direct you to talk to your SGO as you go along with the process.
I mean, I think we just all want to make sure that our unused funds don't disappear and that they go to students and families that really need it. You know, we're looking at already $11,000 of unused reimbursement money. That's just going to go. Poof.
Yep. No, I understand completely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Laura, off the top of your head, maybe you can tell us, what are some creative ways that people from the CECs are using their money to do outreach in their capacity as CECs?
Doing technology workshops for parents in native language. So sometimes you may not be able to get a vendor or a free source to do something like that. So utilizing that to make sure, like a lot of native language or not conferences, but workshops for parents to support remote learning.
And how about what about needs outside of education? Is there anything that you can do for families in need? Are we allowed to give them we're not allowed to give them technology.
I haven't had any of my 4 districts do that, and they are also struggling with the same thing of what to do with their budget at this point.
Right. So is it possible that we could somehow distribute either headphones or technology directly to families, or distribute them to schools to distribute to, like, can we use a conduit to distribute these items? Is there a workaround?
I can double back with Steve to let him know that that was something you're interested in. And we can come up with that answer because it will serve other districts as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, and just, Laura, nice to meet you and all, but I mean, it's silly that the districts aren't more connected to CECs, because I'm sure there's a lot of unused reimbursement funds, and we're all giving piecemeal. I think it, could be more effective if we were able to pool our money and really work together and make these line items possible and happen, because, I can I can pay a babysitter, but I can't support fellow families in my district. It's just
no. I definitely understand your point, and I think ECC is a very valid point. I understand ECC is a good connection for councils to come together, and that's how that original giving happened with NYCHA. So maybe there needs to be another push for a similar thing to happen for the winter months when people are definitely in need.
Yes, yes. Or even like, I mean, I've been constantly thinking about Wi-Fi and how it needs to be free, and just we need to start giving it away because people are really suffering. But that's another story. Where'd everybody go?
I'm here.
Okay.
Natalia.
My dog chewed up one of my dry erase erasers.
Okay.
And
all right.
make sure she doesn't go run for water. Okay.
Natalia, I think you can stop sharing your screen.
Yeah.
I think maybe Inga, do you want to? I mean, we can reach out to Steve and we can figure out if this is actually valid, and if not, we can raise some of the other questions that we talked to Laura about in terms of what is really an option for us, in terms of reallocating our funds.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
We'll table it for next month then.
Yeah, okay, we'll table it for next month. And I think we're at time, perfect timing. So shall we adjourn the business meeting? Is that how it works? Motion to, can I?
Is that all we have on our agenda?
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Thanks. Yeah, that is all we had, except the.
Yeah, second, motion to adjourn. Let's go to our calendar.
Okay, great. So I'm going to call the CEC 20 calendar meeting to order at 7 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
We'll do a roll call for the calendar meeting. Gina Gerges.
Here.
Robert Aguilar, are you here yet? I think Robert is not joining us this evening. Alice Licato here. Inga Smolyar.
Here.
Hi. Alan Aha.
Here.
Mauricia Cadillo.
Here.
Yifang Chen.
Here.
Adele Doyle. Adele.
Here.
Okay. Vito Labella.
Alice, look in the group chat. He says he'll be
Yeah,
here.
but you have to actually say it. It's the rule.
Oh, no, he's not here. He says.
Oh, he's
a little
saying
after
he's gonna,
7.
okay, he's here. fine.
Yeah, he's gonna be a little late.
Phillipsburg
Yeah. Mhm.
Here, okay, meeting is adjourned.
No.
Oh,
Meeting
sorry,
is-
meeting is called to
Start-
order,
yes,
7:01.
Okay.
Trying to-
Okay, I just wanted, before we started, a few notes of housekeeping. First, on our interpreters, we have Spanish, Mandarin, and Arabic interpretation available tonight for the meeting. I know that we posted in the chat box the call-in numbers and the conference IDs for those rooms. I just don't know, Natalia. Yeah, can you cut and paste it? Because if anyone joined after, they won't see what's in the chat. So if you can just repost.
It doesn't allow me to cut and paste at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are still having trouble with the Arabic line. it
Okay.
seems like.
Yeah, do you and Alora have an update on how people can get in, or, instructions for the interpretation?
Spanish and Mandarin lines are all set, and interpreters will be making the announcements at the beginning of the meeting. We still need to fix the Arabic line. They are working on that. Are there any updates, Salima?
Arabic interpreters are not able to join this line yet. I think the numbers are not correct.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. So we'll keep working on the Arabic line and repost if necessary. And if anyone needs the numbers, just let us know in the chat, and we will try to repost those. The other bit of housekeeping is, as always, we have public speaking session scheduled for the end of the meeting. We will be providing 3 minutes per person for public comment, and Natalia will post the sign-up sheet in the chat box, so you can just click and sign up, and you will be called on to do the public speaking, and we'll let you know just before to get ready and set up your mic. And we will allot 30 minutes of public speaking at the end of the meeting. Finally, our next meeting, Natalia, can you just let everyone know when our next meeting will be? December, I have no idea.
Right, so the next meeting will be the 9th.
Great,
December
December
2nd
9th.
Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday, December 9th, 6 p.m.
Right, and you can also find it on the website too.
Excellent, thanks, Natalia. Oh, and one more, I know I said finally, but a reminder that our email is cec20 can you announce it, Natalia? Sorry.
At schools.nyc.gov.
And feel free to email us with any questions post-meeting or up until the next meeting. Great, so let's move on the agenda. And our first item of business is approval
Sorry.
of our, yeah.
Before we start,
Sure.
the Arabic line is not working. I don't know if Natalia or Alora can check on this, but interpreters cannot provide interpretation if this is not working. Like,
Heidi, are you there?
Pia, I'll give it another try on the Arabic line.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here, but it doesn't work. The line doesn't work.
okay, yeah, that's requirement we need. An interpretation line that works. Otherwise, we will have to dismiss the interpreters. Like, I don't know. Otherwise, we can call Cristina Poncel if you need help to create a new number, or I don't know.
Okay, I think I'll defer to Alora right now as she's trying to set it up. We'll try it one more time and then wait for guidance in terms of how we should proceed.
Okay.
On my end, the Arabic room is open. And there are 2 people in there.
Can you share the correct number, Laura, then on the chat? Because the number, the conference ID provided is not working.
Okay, I'll try again.
Thanks.
The Arabic line works.
The Arabic line works right now.
Yes, you're in? Okay. Great. Then I guess we are all set.
Great. Thank you all for working on that. Thanks, Laura. So why don't we proceed to our first item of business, which is approval of our October monthly calendar meeting minutes. And everyone's had a chance to look. Alice, I'll let you take over.
Has everyone had a chance to look over the calendar meeting minutes from October? And does anyone have any objections or additions? Speak now. Okay, motion to approve October
Hey, what's
calendar meeting minutes. Great. Alan has seconded. All in favor, hands up, please. Or say
Oh,
yes.
shoot. Okay.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you,
Great.
everyone.
Thanks. Our next item is our officer election. I think last time Steve allowed me to not have to read the whole script. So I'm going to do the informal. And I'll start with, are there any our open council seat is for council president. Are there any nominations for council president?
Simeon.
Yep, I'll nominate myself again.
Second.
Okay. Any other nominations for council president? Okay, Simeon, you have 2 minutes to address the group if you'd like.
I'm not going to use the time. I've said my piece.
Yeah, we've done.
Okay, fantastic. So now we will move to do a roll call vote.
Yeah. Natalia, can you do
Natalia, will you call it out for us? Oh, you're on mute, Natalia.
Okay, Dina Gergis,
Yes, I vote for Simeon.
Robert Aguilar is not here. Alice Licato,
Yes, I vote for Simeon.
Inga Smolyar,
No.
Alan Aha,
Yep, I sure do.
okay. Mauricia Cadillo, Alicia, sorry, say it again.
Abstain.
Okay. Yifeng Chen,
Abstain.
okay. Adele Doyle,
No.
Vito Labella,
Abstain.
okay. Simeon,
Yes.
okay. Got 4 yeses, 2 noes, 3 abstain, 1 person who's absent.
Okay, thank you, Natalia. So the council seat remains open. We will continue next month with another election.
Sorry,
Great.
the officer.
For the officer, yes.
Yeah, we have our.
Yeah, next item of business is our candidate vote. We have our open candidate seat. I want to say again, thank you to all our applicants for your patience and for putting yourself out there and your desire to be on the council. We'll conduct a roll call vote. Natalia, will you do that again for us, please?
Yes, so Dina Gergis,
A vote for Stephen, I don't remember his last name.
Stowe,
What is it? Yes, Stephen Stowe. Thank you, Natalia.
okay. Robert Aguilar is not here. Alice Licato,
I vote for Tamara Stern.
okay. Inga Smolyar,
I'll vote for Steven Stowe.
okay. Okay. Alan Aha,
I vote for Tamara Stern.
okay. Mauricia Cadillo,
It's Steven.
okay. Yifeng Chen.
Stephen.
Okay, Adele Doyle.
You're on mute, Adele.
Got distracted. Steven still.
Vito Labella.
Stephen.
Okay, Simeon Stolzberg.
Stephen.
Okay. Okay, so that's 7 votes for Stephen. We have 2 votes for Tamara and 1 person absent.
Great, thank you. Sorry, Alice, were you gonna say something?
Hey, welcome, Stephen.
Yes,
Stowe to
welcome.
our
Congratulations.
CC. Our FACE rep, Steve Weiser, should be in touch with you how to do your oath of office and join our council. And we look forward to your attendance next month on the 9th.
Great, thank you, Alice. Okay, our next item of business is our report from our community interim acting superintendent, Dr. O'Brien.
Is he ready?
Yeah, there he
Hello,
is.
good evening.
Hello.
All right, thank you for having me this evening. It's great to see you all. I'd like to begin tonight by sharing it's been a very busy but productive month for us here in the district office and across all 41 schools of District 20. As the COVID pandemic continues to rage, we've had about almost 40 schools closings and reopenings. The teachers, the assistant principals and principals, and the students have been nothing short of fantastic in their quest to keep students and their health at the center of all of our conversations. I'd also like to thank every one of you at home who have been working so diligently, teaching your children the importance of wearing the mask and keeping a safe distance. One big issue that we've seen has been the digital divide between students that have devices and others who do not. Is something that we're continually working on. And what we're seeing now in the district is principals and schools have become incredibly creative in their grant writing to secure even more devices for their students. And I just heard of one today at PS 163 that received 43 more through one of their grants. This past month, every school in District 20 has engaged in professional learning to better support our remote and blended students digitally, as well as harness the power of our website, district20remotely.com, which is designed by teachers in our district, for teachers, students, and families, that if you have not had a chance to check it out, do so. It's incredibly helpful. And I really like the fact that the videos, that you could scroll back and be able to watch them at key points that you're having trouble with. With regard to our equity committee, our last meeting in late October was very informative for me and helpful in determining our next steps. We spent this time doing a lot of listening from a lot of families that are involved on the committee and learning quite a bit as to some of the issues that still seem to permeate across our great district. We want to ensure that we're going to be working with those issues and that are important to families while reviewing information and thinking about ways and goals and initiatives for the days ahead. I'd also like to take the time to let you know that at the district office, we are down 2 team members, down to a team of 5 and 1 secretary, leading the largest district in Brooklyn. We have 41 schools now. As much as I like to get the answers to all of the questions in your hands immediately, this does need and take a lot of time. So I'll be ensuring that we get that information to you as soon as possible. One thing that I would like to share with you and center on today is about teaching and learning and what's happening in our district. And today I brought a few of my friends here with me to talk a little bit about what's happening in District 20. At this time, I'd like to welcome Mary Elena Cipriano Santiago from 20K 062, Ditmas Junior High School. Mary Elena, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, and thank you for inviting me to this meeting. It's been a pleasure to be part of District 20 for the last 27 years. District 20 was my childhood school zone. I grew up in Bay Ridge and went to PS 104. So my passion is District 20. So just to talk a little bit about Ditmas, we are on the very, very far end of District 20. We are probably the best kept hidden secret in the district because we are on the far end. During this crazy, tumultuous time, we really want to celebrate our transitioning from being in person to a full Google Classroom. It went very seamlessly. There's been a lot of support in our district from the superintendent's office with our special ed and our Ls. Anytime we call, we get immediate answers. Ditmas itself, I'd like to celebrate and talk about our PBIS program, which is a positive behavior intervention support program. We've kicked it off. This is our second year where we support student successes and the social emotional growth, both blended and remotely. We're happy to celebrate the wonderful collaboration that we have with our union to address the betterment of our students, as well as our support from our PTA. We have our newly elected PTA president, who I believe is on this meeting as well. And we're excited to see how much support that they've given us already around volunteering to help us with the tech issues, which seems to be citywide in with our students, especially in District 20, we noticed that. We are celebrating our staff with Staff Member of the Year. We also just received a grant from New York Coats, where we will give 36 coats to students who are in need. And also, I'm happy to say that we are very well staffed with 3 guidance counselors, 3 deans, and 4 assistant principals, where we are able to support the social emotional for both our blended and remote students. So there's a lot going on, and I'm just happy to be a part of this district and be with you all tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary Elena. I also brought today someone that is new to District 20 as a principal, and that's Principal Colby Muscarelli, who just began this year. And what a year to begin. Colby, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Dr. O'Brien, and hello, District 20. Hello, CEC. So as Dr. O'Brien stated, I'm brand new to PSIS 192 in Borough Park. So it's been quite an adventure. With all due respect to Mary Helene, I must say that I believe that we are an even better kept secret in District 20 than Ditman. No, I'm just kidding. Things have not been smooth, but at the same time, I'm extremely impressed with the staff and their commitment to the families of PSIS 192 throughout this tumultuous time. Our school we were in the red zone. We were one of the many schools in the red zone, and we're still in it actually. Our building has been closed since October 6th. So the staff has been working tremendously hard on, in remote instruction, and it's a challenge, but I'm continually amazed by what I'm seeing, and the level of commitment to the students, the outreach to the families, to try to get the students that are not logging in, to get them the devices they need, to get them the support from the school staff has been nothing short of incredible. So just a couple of the things to highlight. We have the staff developed a virtual teachers lounge. So it's a space where they can go and share ideas and strategies for how they're, what they're doing in the virtual space. So it's a great collaborative initiative. We also had something called a Halloween campfire story, which I had never seen before, but basically it went from pre-K all the way up to 8th grade, where the pre-K students started a story, and it just kept going and going and going. Each class, took the story and ran with it to complete the next page. There's just so much collaboration in the building. We're working on a new initiative for virtual bulletin boards to try to highlight student work. We're trying to simulate the educational experience remotely as much as we can. So taking things that we know work in the school building and like I said, try to simulate them here in the remote world. There's 100% attendance initiative going on where classes are rewarded with virtual prizes, basically, if they have 100% attendance for the week. So, you know, just trying to do as much as we can to encourage attendance. We have a parent outreach team who's every single day, their sole duty is to just contact these families that are of children that are not getting on the calls. I could go on and on, but I'll hand it over to the next principal if anyone else is after me. So thank you again, Dr. O'Brien.
Oh, and thank you, Colby, for sharing. And so I don't want to, there's so much eagerness on our team to share the wonderful practices that are happening in the district. I just want to note a few more, if I may. In addition, at PS 164, the principal has created a robust professional learning plan on equity, disproportionality, and implicit bias. At 105, students are learning piano virtually and engaging in rigorous instruction in the development of concept development charts. I also watched a video of a third grader at 205 sharing her Ramadan traditions and exploring the meaning of Ramadan through art. At 201, students on their SEL committee have created a monthly newsletter entitled The Knights Table, which teaches students tips, tricks, and techniques in mindfulness. Likewise, at 227, the Shallow team have launched a video series on SEL and combating pandemic fatigue. And you know what, at 105, they developed a parent learning lab where each month families can learn just how best to support their students in the core subject areas. And I know that's something that is something that has been asked for quite some time. So thank you. And I guess I share all these good news today because there is so many good things happening in our district. I look forward to sharing them with you each month and learning from each of you on ways that we can improve. So with that being said, I want to thank you all, and I would especially want to thank the principals that joined me tonight. Thank you. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me at jobrien17@schools.nyc.gov. And I'd be happy to answer each of your questions. Thanks again.
Thank you, Dr. O'Brien. I just want to turn it over to my fellow council members if anyone has any questions for Dr. O'Brien about his report. Great, Adele, then Alan. Those are the first two I saw, and then.
Hi, Dr. O'Brien. Thank you. You're always very positive and you're always showing us the best things about our district. Colby, I want to thank you, your principal. I wanted to thank you for your insight because you drew attention to some of the problems that you're facing and how specifically you are addressing those problems. And I'd really like to see more of that because I think, I keep hearing about the UFT, but who's representing the kids, the children? In other words, there are problems. We acknowledge that there are problems with online learning. I can tell you, obviously I have a child, who's going through this and has been going through this since March. She had an asynchronous environment from March through June in 6th grade. And I love her school. I love her school. Her brother went through that school and I love it, but there are significant consequences to being in this type of environment, to self-directing for a child of that age, being by themselves, virtually, and lacking that sense of community. And we can say all we want that we're creating community online, but when are we going to start assessing the long-term effects? Like, how are we going to assess the long-term effects? I can already tell her basic calculations and math are off. She lacks academic stamina, basic grammar, so many things that you aren't quite getting there. And it's a Matthew effect. It's going to continue to exponentially compound the longer that she's outside of a consistent environment. And this is not to cast blame on you. I keep hearing the threat of closing down the schools again, and then going back into, and of course things are, in a sense, out of your hands, but the impact of those protocols are in your hands. So Dr. O'Brien, more and more, I would love to hear specifically, these are issues that we know exist that we acknowledge, even through basic assessments, we know that there is this much of a slide. And what are the specific implementations that we're going to be seeing to suggest that our children aren't going to be left behind? Because as I'm looking at it now, I'm saying, wow, my child is managing, but do I want my child to manage? We want our children to thrive, and we know that we don't know how long we're going to be in this environment, but how are we going to address the problems that we're facing specifically?
That's a great question, Adele. And what I look forward to answering that with you and the rest of the CEC during our next meeting. I know I've asked each of the CEC members to begin our standing meeting each week. And I think that'd be a great project for us to work on together. So I look forward to meeting with you then.
Alan, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Alan,
Alice, yeah.
I have a question that's on a very different frame than what my fellow council person Doyle just asked, and that is, this is for you, acting superintendent, and also to the principals. Thanks for coming out. We really appreciate it. I guess my question is, our question is here is, if we hit that 3% again, and it is likely across, as we're learning from across the country and across the world, are we prepared? Are we prepared for that kind of transition? We sent over a set of questions and prepared in larger structural sense. Do we have the numbers, for example, as to whether or not students have devices at home and will be able to transition to an online environment? Do the teachers have the structural scaffolding to support them? And paraprofessionals and everyone else, right? And counselors and the school staff to ensure that this transition is smooth, and because it looks more and more inevitable as time goes by. So I'm wondering, to what extent are we there in terms of levels of preparedness for that inevitability?
Well, Alan, that is indeed something that's been on my mind as well. And I can't agree with you more. Looking across the world and seeing how the COVID levels are rising, and seeing how in which communities are forced to hunker down. I agree with you. I feel like there's going to be an announcement at some time in the future that will definitely tell us just that we're going to have to go fully remote. But I am incredibly confident with the work of our principals, with their diligence, with their creativity, with their wherewithal, and to ensure that our students get the best possible education. There's no doubt about it. As well as with our assistant principals, who do so much of the work and go so often uncredited. These are individuals that have devoted their life to that school. And make no mistake, the work that they empower their teachers to build, to create, and to align. Because remember, one of the biggest things that in our district that we've ever done is about aligning instruction to students with disabilities, to English language learners, to advanced students. This is something that we didn't just begin. However, those skills transfer. And from what I've seen over this in the last 3 months as the interim acting superintendent, I think it's 3 months, it has been nothing short of remarkable. So when you ask me, do I think we're prepared? I would question back, would we ever be prepared for something like this? I don't think so. But in terms of where we are today, I can share with you with utmost confidence that the principals of this district are doing an amazing job. And I think, yes, that we will be prepared to meet this challenge head on.
I'm sorry, Dr. Bryan, just to go back to that. Will we be assessing students in any meaningful way soon? I know we're doing things in these classes, but how are we assessing what they're learning specifically?
So assessments, Adele, are happening daily in some schools. We have schools, 25 of our schools are teachers college schools that are using the TC Pro every time they admit it, sometimes 4 times a year. There's informal assessments. There's that happen each day in exit cards. Students are constantly being assessed. I think what you're asking, is there going to be a standardized assessment across the district And for that,
Actually,
for that
no,
answer,
no,
I
I'm
don't, I
sorry.
don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not, I'm not looking for standardized assessment. I'm asking as a teacher, looking at my daughter's work, like when I asked my daughter, what did you learn today? Versus what did you do today? It's an entirely different question. And we talk about differentiated instruction. We talk about the amount of time that she's spending in a communal educational environment or not. And obviously, I know there are mandates according to the U of T exactly how much face-to-face that teachers are going to be able to give to their students. And in that capacity, that means my daughter is primarily self-directing the vast majority of her day. So what does that mean over long term for her? I mean, what is the type of stamina that she's going to have? How deeply is she going to get into any material to inspire critical thought, deep critical thought? Never mind the fact that the components of essay and argument structure, all of these things that, and I know it's like, yes, I love our teachers. I absolutely love our teachers. But it's a matter of how much can you logistically accomplish online and in a to create a one-on-one meaningful learning outcome that will help advance a child. Not, obviously we don't want to maintain the status quo. We want to advance, because there is a social emotional component to stagnate that is inherent in stagnation, where a student is not progressing, where a student has learned how to manage a system that is in place. And that's what online learning can potentially be. Okay, I can expect that this is going to happen. This is what I'm going to get. I'm going to get my Newsela. I'm going to answer these questions. I'm going to look at this PowerPoint. I'm going to answer these questions. I'm going to submit to Google Classroom. And
so sorry, Adele, you were asking about just the daily or the benchmark assessments that you feel the students need.
Yeah, but just, I don't want to say assessment's a dangerous word. How are we measuring that this is meaningful? In a way that is progressively building in their.
If I may, Adele, I know I hear you loud and clear, and I feel like one of the things that I would like to encourage us all, especially during this very minute time period that we have together, is to share to start talking about what's in our locus of our control, right? Like what can we have tangible impact with? And I think it's important that I slide you right back here and share with you that, in terms of assessment, I want to encourage you to reach out to those teachers, to your principals and your assistant principals, to have those conversations. And because that is where the control lies, right? And I hope that you can get the answers that would be more amenable to your thoughts and your philosophy around remote learning. But I think you'll be surprised that these folks have a real plan in place, and I'd really like to see that you get the answers that you want.
Alice, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I think part of what Adele was speaking to as well is the frustration that a lot of parents are feeling, that we were going back and forth so much, which I know is totally out of your control, Dr. O'Brien, but had we really accepted our reality back in March, accepted the shutdown, focused on the online remote learning, I think we'd be, all of us, a lot further along, with everything that Adele was speaking to. However, and this isn't a question, I just want to push back on that. And then I do have a real question for you, Dr. O'Brien. In terms of benchmarks and assessing, I think that, this is unprecedented, and I get where you're coming from, Adele, but every day, and I've lost a lot during this pandemic, but every day I thank my lucky stars that there's food in my fridge, and I have Wi-Fi, and I have a computer for my child to use. And she is, lucky enough to be English as a native language. Essentially she's thriving. It's not ideal. She sits in bed all day to go to school, but compared to 75% of the people living in the city, we are thriving. And so I wish that we could all just keep some perspective, and where parents can step in and are lucky enough to be able to be in the home and not, be doing something else while their child is learning, yay for us. And let's just count our blessings and not worry so much about assessments. I think we're all losing. Every single student in this whole planet is losing right now. No one is thriving in their academics. No one is excelling. I mean, we're all just trying to make do. So I think we're all doing great, and yay for everyone. Dr. O'Brien, Title I funds, how are they working? I know that Halloween has traditionally been the cutoff for attendance and for how many students. How is the federal government allocating the funds this year? Are they, because some kids don't even have devices to be taking attendance? How are you counting? How are the schools getting their money? How are they handling the Title I committee? How is that 1% that's supposed to be devoted to parents being allocated to parents? And yeah, I mean, just in my experience too, Title I can be confusing. And I've been at a school where the Title I rep was not a parent, which is absolutely not what the guidelines are. So how are we bringing parents into this conversation, specifically parents that, maybe have some experience? How are we, I don't know, what's the word, trying to coordinate these efforts and really use our Title I funds as best as we can? But first, how are we seeing how we're going to get them?
Sure. I thank you, Alice. Thanks for your question. As you know, in the district office, we don't receive Title I funds.
Right,
but
I know,
have
but
friends here on the call that might be able to answer that question.
Right,
Are there any principals here that would like to share?
I mean, I could try. We just had our Title I meeting recently, and we do, we do have a PAC chairperson and
a parent.
Yes.
Okay.
And, we're just exactly what you're saying. We're not. I don't want to dictate what that money goes toward. I'd like to,
Right.
hear their ideas. And it's going to look different in the remote world, than ordinarily would. But I guess my point is we haven't really had the conversation yet. We have the person in place, and they know what their role is, and we're going to listen to what they have to say and what the parent community has to say.
Okay, great. And then in terms of the funding, was everything the same as it's been in past years in terms of attendance? I know people have been disenrolling to a certain extent. I know Halloween is that cutoff. So what?
Right. So just I can only speak for our school.
Sure.
It's 1% of the allocation. I don't know typically what the allocation is because I'm brand new to this school, but it seemed kind of in line with my experience in the past. So it wasn't like
the allocation is based on the population of the school. So I guess my question is, when you put in how many students you have, has anything changed with that process due to COVID?
Yes, it has. I'm sorry, I can add in.
Go. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam PS5. The deadline was pushed down now, past
Okay.
October 31st.
Okay.
So I believe now it's down at least till the end of November, possibly December.
Okay.
The numbers in place.
Okay. Good to know.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Principal Mandel.
Thank
problem.
you.
Great to see you.
Hello?
I just finished my Title I PAC meeting tonight, so we voted a parent in.
Great. Great.
I'll come
Good
from there.
news. Good
Okay.
news.
Alice?
Yes. Hello.
My name is Javier Muniz. I'm the principal of PS200. I'll be happy to share some of the innovative work that we're doing with Title I funds. We just allocated about $15,000 of Title I funds to an ESL parent committee. So we're inviting for now 5 years in a row from site a teacher to come and help parents in learning ESL, and through that they are able to help their own children. In addition to that, we are setting up some additional after-school programs so that we can help the students that perhaps are not able to join for a longer period of time and have that one-to-one with the teacher to give them additional time to get help after school. So we are continuing those models into this year, and that all is going to begin in December. So we have several cycles of that moving forward.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
That
Javier.
sounds great. Thank you. Okay, thank you. That was my question.
Thank
I
you,
just wanted
Alice.
to make sure we were all, the Title I was still working the way it should.
Dr. O'Brien, do you have a mental health expert that you work with that we could hear from about the impact of of protocols on students?
Sure, absolutely. Sean
evaluated it?
Sean McLean would have the name. He's from they're from Maimonides Hospital. So he'll be able to point in the right direction.
Okay, Dina, if the council is in agreement, I think that might be worthwhile to hear from somebody about the impact to our families.
Is this the person that consults with your district, Dr. O'Brien? Is
So
that what-
Sean, so I'm unsure. I'm not exactly sure of the exact role that they play in the interface between the DOE and the hospital, but Sean McLean works with them often. Is Sean on the line?
He was.
Yeah, I thought he saw him too.
Um,
if you can reach out to him, I'm sure he'll be able to help you.
Okay, I'll put a note. Just out of curiosity, who are if you can tell us, who are the two staff members that you lost in the District 20 office?
So I lost myself as a deputy.
Right.
As one, I know that a deputy, most the school districts this size have
right.
a deputy or two.
Mhm.
And also obviously Mr. Muscarelli, who left to
Oh,
become principal at 192.
Well, congratulations. Okay, thanks.
We miss you very much. But nevertheless, I want to thank all the families and all the members of the CEC. I look forward to sharing more with you in the days ahead. And I especially want to thank the principals who, after a very busy day, took the time to come out tonight and share tonight with the families of District 20. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. O'Brien. Alan, did you have one more question or?
Yeah, very quickly, Dr. O'Brien, I know this is an awkward question but I just learned in our business meeting that there's an ongoing search for public
Alan.
forums for parents to apply. I mean, to participate for that. Can you pivot to someone else who might be able to answer that question?
I missed the whole question, Alan. I'm sorry. I think you broke up there.
You broke up, Alan.
Oh, sorry. I'm wondering if there's going to be a public forum so that District 20 parents can hear from the superintendent candidates. And I know it's awkward asking because I know, but is there someone you can pivot to answer that question right now? Because I learned that some CEC members got invited, but others didn't. So I'm just trying to understand if this is a transparent process or not.
So Alan, yeah, I wouldn't even be able to help you with that question. I'm sorry, I wouldn't even know who to ask.
Actually, Barbara Freeman is directing the
Ms.
process.
Freeman's purview, and yeah, that would be something for you to ask her.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And I just had one more question. Dr. O'Brien, can you post, you mentioned a website earlier, a resource website, was it District 20 remotely? Can you put that in the chat?
I'll do so right
Because
away.
I don't know if that was widely advertised or maybe I missed it in the slew of emails, but if it's a great resource, I think we want to help.
Oh, it most certainly is. And you know what I loved about it is there's actually a section for families to engage in the videos, and they're very good. I mean, I refer to them almost daily. So let me send that over into the chat right now. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. O'Brien. Thank you for your time. And principals.
Great, thanks everyone. Okay, I think that brings us to our public speaking portion on the agenda. Yeah, go ahead, Alice.
We want to real quickly just talk about our sharing and our YouTube and that whole
Oh, yeah.
Dropbox. Natalia, I'm going to let you give us a little update. Just briefly, we ran out of our storage for our meetings and stuff. So Natalia has figured a workaround with Vito's help, or suggestion rather.
So when I spoken to Stephen, he said that it should more than likely be okay. And I went onto YouTube, and CEC2 and 25 do have their videos up. So I've posted our July annual meeting as the tester, and I'll be working on uploading everything else as I can.
Great.
So they will be available on YouTube.
Great. And so
Thank you, Natalia.
Yes, thank you. And that
Can I-
link will still be on the website, right? It'll
Yes.
just connect directly there.
So
And-
let me give you another suggestion. I'm on my PTO meeting right now is live streaming on YouTube. Some of you out there may have heard that our President's Council meeting was Zoom bombed by some very tech savvy kids, and they were definitely kids.
I did not hear.
Not here, but yes, they said some nasty things, and
How dare you?
no, wasn't me. But so
Is that why that Zoom
so here's the
security?
deal.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Well, listen, everything's a learning experience, right? I mean, just because something bad happens, doesn't mean you don't keep doing what you're doing, right? If we have a real meeting in a real place and some knucklehead says some stupid things and jumps up and screams, we don't say we're not having meetings anymore. We say, okay, we'll just deal with it when it happens. And it's the same thing in the virtual world. So anyway, that being said, I mean, so it's a little bit more difficult for CECs because the whole meeting is public. But what I'm doing with the PTA meetings and PTO meetings is I'm going to have simultaneous Zoom streaming, and only PTA members are allowed in the Zoom, and everyone else can watch it on the YouTube channel, which I believe that satisfies all the requirements for the open meeting law. And I'm working with Janine and Diana, and to see if we could do that for President's Council as well.
Great, I'm definitely gonna ask you for help with that.
It's fairly simple. You need to have a bunch of subscribers on YouTube. You need to verify it in different ways, right? Put your phone number, whatever it is, but I'm sure that
You're
that's
going to
easy for
reach
you.
out to Natalia, and you guys are going to hook
Yep,
up. And figure
no
all
worries.
that out, Thank you so much. You're such an expert on all these.
Not at all. I'm
on all
learning the
these
same as
YouTube
everybody.
matters. There is a Zoom security training being offered, I believe, by FACE. I don't know if anyone's interested, but I saw that email go around. If anyone's interested, maybe Natalia can send it again. Okay, so thank you for that update, Natalia. And then I guess we're on to public speaking, as Tina said.
Yeah, and I just wanted to, Janine, I just saw her. If anyone from President's Council, Janine per se, wanted to share anything before we move to the public speaking session.
Hi, thanks, Dina. Good evening, everyone. President's Council is doing well in District 20. We just had a general meeting this past Friday, and to discuss that out of 41 of our schools, only 4 so far, the only ones left that do not have PTAs. We are in the process of getting them all up and running. We will hold our election December the 11th for all PTAs or designees to vote for the office of president, vice president, treasurer, and recording secretary. It's been a trying time with all these trainings and whatnot, this virtual platform, but it is what it is, and information is privy to everyone, and information is important. I thank Ms. Dina and the CEC for allowing me to speak, and you have all good night.
Janine, if I may,
Brian, sure.
I just wanted to thank you personally. I
Yeah.
saw the amount of work that went into this, and I spoke with Sylvia and Bill about it. I just want to take a moment to thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Dr. O'Brien. I appreciate it.
And if I could say, we could have no one more qualified. We're very lucky to have Janine.
Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
I do have
thanks
for District 20.
Yes, we love you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Janine.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Janine. Okay, great. Natalia, let's start with people who've signed up. And again, if you haven't, there's a form in the chat box. You can still sign up to speak. So we'll go through our list. Again, it's 3 minutes per speaker. So
We have 2 PTA presidents who had signed up. We would
Yes,
like to
great.
call them.
Great.
First.
I have Michael Lowe. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Yep, pretty close. Michael Loeb. My son is in 7th grade at Ditmas, so it's great to see Principal Santiago here. Question is for Dr. O'Brien or anyone else who can answer it. What kind of support have teachers been getting to do even better at the remote learning? And I'm asking from the district level, like what can principals ask for? What kind of professional development can they get for their teachers?
Great, thanks, Michael. I don't know if Dr. O'Brien's still available, or if there's any other principals on the call who are interested or have some examples to share. If not, we'll definitely direct the question to Dr. O'Brien.
I mean, I could give a couple of examples. Again, I'm Colby Muscarelli at PS 192. And Dr. O'Brien had mentioned many of our schools are TC schools. So as part of that package, we receive professional development. And this year it's all virtual. So it lends itself perfectly to improving virtual instruction. So they basically, the TC staff developer works with our teachers. The teachers get pulled out for the day, or they'll post asynchronous work for a short time during the day for, like, let's say a couple periods to work with the staff developer. They might go into they might actually bring the staff developer into their classroom. It looks different every session, but that's just one example. In addition to like the virtual teachers lounge that I had spoken about earlier, where all our teachers are sharing. Those are just a couple examples.
All right, Mr. Loeb, sorry about that.
Can I add something? Dr. O'Brien, it's Josephine Sportella, principal of 682. And I've been listening to all the questions that the parents have been asking, and I think they're really wonderful. And I want to encourage you to add them to your SLT agenda items, because every school has its own way of doing things and has teams and has systems and structures in place particular to meet the needs of that particular community. And so I really encourage you, because all of your questions have been wonderful this evening, and it gets me thinking of how we would answer them in a school with our SLT. So I really encourage you, because all those questions are being thought of and are being answered on at each and every one of our District 20 schools. And please don't be shy and bring them to your SLT, okay? Hope
Thank you.
everyone's well. Take care.
Thank you. This, in this case, I am asking specifically what's coming from the district, not what I know that my principal is on it. Just curious what's coming from the district.
So at this time, we have a lot of work coming out of DIIT around remote learning, technical training, digital literacy and accessibility, as well as our parent coordinators having weekly watch party PD from face-to-face trainings. But again, I want to reiterate Josephine Sportella's comment, as I haven't engaged in any district-wide professional development as we have gone on since the COVID pandemic began in September. Schools are working with their own materials and resources to design and discern next steps for their professional learning needs.
And just, Michael, to just piggyback on what they've just said, when we need something and we contact the district, we get what we need. So they put together this whole district platform for the teachers way back in March or April to collaborate together to bring up lessons and all of that. And since then, if you need something, you ask for it. And if you ask for it, you get it. But every school is different and every school has different needs.
And Mr. Loeb, I'd also like to share with you, if you'd like to take a look at District 20 remotely.
Yeah, I just took a look at that. That's great. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Can I just speak to something Principal Sportella said about SLTs, which is a great point. And I just want to reiterate to the parents that might not know, SLTs are open meetings, and so they should be Zoom links. So I encourage everyone to attend their school's SLT. I know in the past when they were in person, it was a lot harder for parents to go, but now anyone can just attend. You can't speak, but you can listen. I mean, well, you can speak if you're on the SLT, but you're welcome to join and listen and learn about all of these processes that might seem, confusing, or all the acronyms. It's a great way to learn about what your school is doing. I encourage everyone to attend.
Actually, Alice, to that point, Alora, have any of the requirements for SLT meetings been suspended due to COVID protocols?
No, they've been modified to support the virtual platform, which is sharing out whether it's the Zoom link or the Microsoft Teams to the community and posting it. So that's
Do
the adjustment.
we have those modifications for CEC that we could distribute to the parents so they know that they're aware that these meetings should be posted publicly and they're entitled to participate or to attend them?
I think the school.
Yes, so, so they were sent out a few months ago, and I can forward them to you as a counselor to share with your community.
That would be great. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. Natalia, who's next on our list?
Next, we have Paulette Healy.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. At today's mayor's press conference, the 7-day average is now hovering at 2.77, and the threshold to close the schools is 3%. On Friday's President's Council meeting, Bill Chin had announced that the district had received iPads that they had requested for the families that have been waiting for them since March, yet they still have not been distributed to the schools yet. And I'm very worried that with this impending deadline that's like in front of us, where it's like it's our 7-day average is inching percentage point by percentage point per day, that I'm afraid some of our students who have been waiting since March for a learning device still won't get it. So I'm wondering what the district is doing to really make sure that these iPads are getting into the hands of our students who have been waiting for learning devices this entire time. Also, are there instructions to navigate Google Classroom to go with the learning device in different languages? Because that's been an issue that we've been seeing in our community as well, where it's like even those with a device are having troubles initiating and uploading some of the programs because they're not in their native language. So I wanted to know if the district had any information about that. And lastly, I sound like a broken record, but I'm asking about Title I district district packs. It's part of the compliance issue. This has been brought up at FACE already, and to reiterate what Alice had said about Title I and the fact that we have concerns about making sure that we're getting this funding and that it's being allocated to to resources that the school needs, especially in this time where everyone is fighting with food inequity and job security and home security, that we get this DPAC established in this district so we can share the resources and the information about Title I in general to all of our 41 schools, and which I believe 36 of them are Title I schools. So this resource really needs to be implemented sooner than later. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulette.
Thanks, Paulette. I know Dr. O'Brien's still on, and we don't normally do Q&A for public comment, but I think we only have like a handful of people who signed up. So if you're available, Dr. O'Brien, and you can comment, that'd be great. If not, we'll continue to forward the questions. I see Natalia posted a comment that Bill Chin said that Central started distributing the iPads to the schools. But it'll take time. I think Paulette's asking how much time, considering the schools may close. Yeah.
And we also don't know how long the schools will be open with the pending, so really we need to get them. They've been waiting since March. So I really don't understand why we as a district can't be more forthcoming and hands-on about making sure these get to the families. From what I understand, like the application process has the families' home addresses on them, not the school addresses. So
May I answer that?
Yes.
Hi, Sylvia Jasinski, Family District Family Support Coordinator. I just want to clarify, the iPads were purchased by Central. There was recently purchased 100,000 additional iPads, and they are being shipped by Central directly to schools based on the student and the requirements and the priorities. Schools when the families fill out the form, there are certain questions that they have to answer, and then based on the answers that the parents gives, the iPads are prioritized, especially the ones that for the families in the priority get the student in temporary housing, students that don't have are Title I students or English language learners or special education students that have IEPs. In addition, the priority also get the students that do not have internet service in the house. Okay, so there's a lot of moving points to get it. In the past, the iPads were shipped directly to the families in the spring. Right now, the DOE does not do that because a lot of them were lost. Until now, they cannot, families were not even aware that they were shipped to their houses. So we're trying to look in order for them to go in and get a new iPad, they have to file a police report for the first one. So it's there are a lot of moving points. So the Department of Education right now with 100,000 new iPads, what they're doing, they had to preload all the software that the students are using into those new iPads, and they're being shipped directly to schools. How fast they're shipping, we don't know. As the district, we don't have really control over that. Everything it goes by priorities. Schools were asked about the needs that they had, and to state they were at the end of October, I believe, they were supposed to state how many additional devices they will need, and based on that, the central is going to ship it. Okay, and the second answer to your question, Paulette, the Title I PAC, District 20, we did have a PAC person on our district leadership team. Right now, we're waiting for Parent Advisory Council at the school levels to have their elections. The deadline for the elections is actually this coming Friday for all schools to have one. And afterwards, we will get the information. The information on the system is supposed to be entered by November 30th. That's when we will get the information from each school, and we will be able to hold the elections at the district level. Hope that answers your question.
No, well, I know that there's a Title I rep on the DLT, but there's no Title I DPAC in our district. There never has been one. And that was my question about when are we going to establish one? Because the DPAC is supposed to be a separate council altogether in itself, separate from the DLT, separate from President's Council. Every district has one except ours.
So we will get one. I'm not really sure about that, but keep in mind, district as the district, we do not have a Title I money. We don't have a Title I budget.
No, it's not about budget. It's about establishing a council for the Title I schools in order for them to share the resources, just like President's Council is. President's Council is a council for PTA presidents. Title I DPAC is a council of Title I representatives from every school in the district. Every district has one, except for ours.
We're getting one.
Okay.
We're just waiting for all the Parent Advisory Council to hold their elections.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry,
Julia, just to the point of the distribution of technology, what about broadband? Seeing how often students are dropping off, are there surveys going out to the schools to find out what percentage of students are dropping off of their classroom?
Actually, we with the new devices that are being distributed, they have switched to the provider because they have found that a lot of families, they had issues in the house that T-Mobile did not have access. Not all the families had really good bandwidth with the T-Mobile. So the new devices, I believe, may be getting Verizon service.
Okay, thank you. Are we able to switch everybody else over to Verizon as well, or are they out of luck?
No, the IIT, if the families complain that their service is dropping in the house, we would have to contact the help desk, and they will try to switch the providers.
Maybe we can distribute that information from our
That
end.
information is not widely available yet because they're just trying things out. These are brand new devices that are just coming out. And the DOE just, I'm sorry, Alice, the DOE just received number of devices. I believe it was in the principal's digest this week. Not devices, but just the internet service plugs. So the schools would have to look into that as well to provide just that.
So just to clarify, if they don't complain, then they're not going to get switched over. We assume that the T-Mobile is working for them and it remains the same.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to also just, I appreciate what you're saying about the devices and it's out of your control and it's being shipped by Central. I understand all of that. I think that Paulette's question was because we're inching so close to that 3% mark and we're worried about schools closing again. Is there on the district level some sort of protocol in place? And principals, I know that you are doing everything that you can, and I know that you show up to school when no one else is there.
Well, Alice,
to distribute those devices if schools are already closed.
So Alice, I think I have an answer for you. I could share with you. I know that Executive Superintendent Freeman sits on the board for the technology for the chancellor, and she's been advocating for District 20 schools along with the other districts in Brooklyn South the entire time. So we're hoping that she might be able to bring some relief to the families that are suffering at this time.
Right. We're just worried about the iPads being shipped. I know everyone's trying to do everything they can. The concern is that they get shipped and then the schools are closed and no one can distribute them because there are physically no bodies in the school.
Actually, I'd like to add on with Dr. O'Brien. This is Jane Kaptanakis from PS 69. So when we had, as principals, we had received some guidance for school preparedness for potential transition to fully remote instruction in the event of citywide closures. And one of the points that we had to address was to designate a point person from our staff to receive, certify, and distribute materials such as devices while the school is fully remote. Because according to the memo that we received, those additional iPads that the city had ordered are being prepared and delivered to schools as Sylvia Jasinski had said, over the next 4 to 6 weeks. And then these deliveries will come to schools again based on the requests that have been submitted, and principals will be notified as soon as devices are ready so that a team from each school can help to distribute them when they arrive. I can tell you we received a few iPads probably about a week and a half ago, and I got a UPS email that a package was coming so that we were able to make sure that we got those devices and were able to contact the families. And there is like a prepare for shipping process that schools need to do. And if any families needed support, that they should reach out, to their school or also to DIIT. And as Dr. O'Brien mentioned, there were many different professional learning opportunities to help support the staff as well on that end.
That is a perfect answer. Thank you, Principal Kaptanakis. That's exactly what we were looking for. And Sylvia, this is the last thing I'm going to say. I personally am going to keep pushing on this DPAC thing. I wasn't aware that it was something that we have never had. Thank you, Paulette. But for a district that is 79% where the students qualify for Title I, the fact that we don't have some sort of unifying body that can provide resources. I know that when I was on PTA, our Title I rep was constantly having to do her own homework. Resources were so scarce to help our students that are in most need of help. It's a really important thing. So personally, I'm just going to keep pushing on it. I'm just going to give you some fair warning. I do appreciate all you do in advance. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Paulette and everyone. Natalia, who do we have now? I think those were our PTA presidents, and now public speaking from parents, other parents, I should say.
Yes, so we have Stephen Stowe.
I just want to say thank you very much. I'm incredibly honored, humbled, and I'm really excited to start working with everyone. I'm not going to make many policy comments here. I agree with a lot of what's been said, especially focusing on digital divide, quality of online education. Another thing that has been talked about in past meetings has been tracking attendance, who's on, who's not, what's happening to the kids that we can't account for. But again, I just want to reiterate, very humbled and look forward to serving with you. And please call me Steve, not Stephen. That's all. Thank you.
Duly noted. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Great. Natalia, was there anyone else who used the sign up sheet? If not, we'll do an
No one
open call.
else.
Okay, so we can do as we always do. If anyone wants to speak, just physically raise your hand, use the raise your hand emoji, and we can go to you before we end tonight. I don't see anyone
I
in the
would just
chat.
like to add that as a district, and when talking about our schools and all that Dr. O'Brien is doing to lead us at this time, and we are being realistic optimists in the face of all that's happening. We're continuing to hold on to that really strong foundation that we've had as a district and as a district team, to the professional learning, the work we've done around advanced literacy, the gains our students have made with STEM and STEAM. And we're holding on to that, and we're realistically looking at what's happening. We're reprioritizing things like our social emotional learning, helping children to get through these shifts as we help their families get through this difficult time. As you've said, where people are dealing with those big rock issues of things like their physical health, their mental health, their financial health. We're working with all of that, and at the same time, we're filling in with all of the academic work and wealth of the consistency of schooling and providing that schooling in a consistent way for your children. So we are being realistic optimists, and we are not giving up on the hope and the joy of a wonderful education in our district. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much, Jane.
I don't see any other hands raised. Last call. Okay. I think with that, final reminder again, our next meeting is Wednesday, December, I've forgotten already, 8th, 9th. 9. Okay. Wednesday, December 9th.
Wednesday.
Yes, I just didn't remember the day. At 6 p.m. And in the meantime, please feel free to email us at the CEC20 email that was shared with any questions, concerns, and we look forward to seeing everyone then. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Meeting adjourned, 8:13. Thank you, everyone. See you next month.
Everyone.
Thank you so much,
Have a
everyone.
good night. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a wonderful
Yes, happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Be safe.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, Dina.
Yes.
Hi, I was hoping if you and I could get together via email, if you could shoot me an email so I can get in contact with you. So
Yeah,
that I can set up our meeting for next Friday.
Okay, sounds good.
All
Not
right,
next Friday.
Excuse me, not next
Thanksgiving Friday? Okay, all right.
Follow.
Okay.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
All right, bye.